Hey guys, everybody that's already logged in, we'll give it a couple more minutes. Everybody can hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Hey Sam.
Thanks for hosting this. Looking
All
forward
right.
to it.
Oh yeah, appreciate you being here.
I see you're in St. Louis.
I am, yes.
Okay, very nice. My whole mom's side of the family is all from there, so I've spent a fair amount growing up in the area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Any particular areas,
Do
city
you
or?
know do you know Grant's Farm?
Yeah.
They live like a quarter mile from there, right down Music Road right there. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's a really cool area. Good food in St. Louis for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Let me get this up real quick. Okay. I don't know how big the group is going to be, so we'll get started and I'll show you what I have planned. So everybody that signed up, you guys registered with you had some questions. You had obviously put in your email address, you put in your phone number. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay, let me know if you can see it. Can you see my
Yep.
screen?
Yes.
So this is Hermes desktop. It is I have a backend that's running on a VPS, and this is just on my laptop. So even if I turn my laptop off, it's still running. I can access it with my phone, or it can still do the job that it's supposed to. So say I'll say something like, "Hey, this is just like to show you what's possible with Hermes. It's basically a foundation for your business, for building out an agent, building a specialized agent, or building like a generalized executive agent where it kind of has access to everything. So I'll show you like this is something that you could do on the sales side where it intakes leads. So activate business demo, send out a personalized SMS already in a column to each of the registrants, the workshop. So what it'll do is you filled out some questions like, hey, are you looking to start an AI business? Are you just looking to implement it in your business? It's going to take all that information, generate a personalized SMS, and then it'll send that out to each person. So that's just like a way to start the conversation. You might have this situation where you have customer, you have information about like what they've bought, what they, you know, you have all their transaction history. Um, so this is a good way to like, reactivate old leads. It's a good way if you are just intaking leads, you can, be able to it can have a conversation with you and and with your customer and then be able to, drive them towards maybe it's a specific sale, maybe it's a meeting that you're trying to book. So it's pretty powerful that way. Let's see if it runs in. Well, it runs. Well, where's everybody coming in from? Is Sam? You said you had family here, but are you where are you based out of?
San Diego.
San Diego. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice area.
Yeah, it's beautiful here right now.
Yeah, I bet. You can feel free to either put it in the chat or just shout it out. If it's a small enough group. Salt Lake City, nice. Very cool. I know a few others are from the Midwest, where I'm from. I have a friend here that's on. Here goes the wrong one. Here. And if anybody does get the SMS, and I haven't, this is something I put together a little bit last minute. So, hey Barbara, he said I put together this last minute. So, let me know if you do get a text message. It should send it out. So just let me know when you get something. I'm gonna share a different screen.
Truth, does that generally take, does it have like a rule of thumb how long that would take? Or is it dependent on like how long the list would be, right? How much data it would have to parse?
Yeah, yeah. And how many checks and balances you've got in. It it just makes sure that it's getting the right data, and it might be conservative with like, hey, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to. So it does take time. And Hermes specifically, there's some background noise.
Looks like Eric, maybe?
If if whoever's got that on with mute, be great. Um, so and it's also Hermes also reads its memory before it answers, before it does anything. So it'll read the soul file, reads like the last few memory files that it's created just to make sure that it doesn't miss anything. So it's a little bit slower than just using like a chat, but it'll have more context when it answers you.
Uh-huh. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Um, can everybody see the slideshow part of it?
Yes.
Awesome. So Hermes is kind of like it's a general agent that you can specialize to kind of do stuff in your company.
Real
But you
quick, I
guys,
think we're still looking at the Hermes Agent screen.
oh
I'm
really?
not sure if this was the presentation you were talking about.
I was talking about that. Thank you. Share different screen then. Everybody see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's an agent that you might have heard like, hey, we have like a sales agent running, or we have a SDR agent, or we have like a voice agent. So it's built on something like Hermes. They're not using Hermes, they're using something like it, which has the foundation, and then you can kind of build on top of it. So, and just as a quick introduction, I grew up in Iowa, spent some time in the Bay Area. Then I came back to St. Louis, where we help. So we have a family business here, where we import and distribute stone. We grew that when I joined, it was doing 3 million a year, and I was there for 8 years. And when I stopped my day to day there, I'm still involved, but day to day I'm not. And we're at 15 million now. So and now I do ClawDrop, I do this AI automation agency. and we build agents for small medium businesses because that's what I understand. My wife, she's also on the call. She was in the Bay Area. She was in one of the bigger companies, and she was there for a long time. She understands big tech. I do not. I stick with the small business. Chris Kerner, which a lot of you are here from, he might have put it on in his newsletter or been or you might have been part of his TK owners group. He's one of my clients. We're doing agents for him as well, more around his content business, where finding people to interview, moderating his channels, data analytics from all his different platforms that he's on. So stuff like that. That's what we're building out for him. It's if you've heard of OpenClaw, Hermes is similar. You can run it on like your laptop, which you just saw. I'm running half of it on my laptop, and the other half, the actual backend, it runs on a VPS in the cloud. And I've noticed this where I've done something repeatedly, and when we do that repeatedly, it keeps building its own skill, and it does it better every time. I haven't necessarily noticed that in like something without a harness or without like a proper memory system. Plain Claude code, plain which we might still do it, but I definitely notice it with Hermes. So it's something that I enjoy using because I know it's like understanding what I'm trying to do. You can talk to it like right now we're using Hermes desktop. I also have it hooked up to my Telegram. You can use iMessage. You can use, WhatsApp, whatever you want, Slack, Discord. One of my cohort members, she set it up with Discord, and she loves it because she's sharing that with her husband, and they both run a business together, and they have like their own. I'm not super familiar with Discord, but they have like their own channels in the server and be able to talk to it for their own specific purpose. And on the back end, it's just Hermes running on an old laptop, and it's like hooked up to their accounting system. It's hooked up to all their email addresses. It's hooked up to like their CRM that they have. And it's all just a prompt away. It'll remember your stuff like we talked about, and it's also great for doing cron jobs, which I'll show you when we go back to the Hermes desktop app. You can say every morning, send me a morning briefing. And it does that for my wife and I, where it'll take my calendar, her calendar, put all our meetings in a message with the weather, because our kids, they're going to school in the morning, so we need to dress them appropriately. And so that'll be 6 a.m. every day. It'll show up in our WhatsApp group, and in the evenings it'll give us like a few recipes, which then we can prepare for the following day. Because I fed in like 10 cookbooks that we enjoy, and it just picks from that and gives us ideas. Hermes will use the same tools you do. Browser, it'll scrape the web, run your email, calendar. It can also post to all the social media stuff, either through a browser or through an API, depending on how you set it up. But it can do everything you can do on a computer, and probably better. If it needs to, it can scale it up. You can send out sub agents to do something in parallel. Like, okay, I wanted to do it like a enrichment, or figure out who the people are that are attending this workshop. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going through 50 people, it'll do 5 agents, and it can do it 5 times faster. Like I said, it plugs into all your tools, and you'll be able to come up with workflows and automations that I can't necessarily teach, but because I don't know about your business, but it's you'll have that idea when the light bulb comes on, like, oh my God, I could just take all that customer data, run it through Hermes, and then come up with customized offers for all of my customers instead of just one generic offer going out. Stuff like that that you wouldn't think about. Like I said, anywhere you can run it pretty much anywhere. So a lot of people are already using AI in some way or another, but most are using it like they're using ChatGPT, and that counts as using AI. It's not it's not a bad place to start, but it's a bad place to end. AI can do a lot more, and it's only where we are right now, it can do a lot. I think it's gonna get even better where we have more plug and play type of stuff. At the moment, though, these types of tools where you can hook all your systems in and just ask it to automate things, it takes away a lot of the admin work, a lot of the back office work, and that's kind of how you want to pitch it also. If you're either selling it within your company, like, hey, we're gonna introduce this into our small business, or you're selling it as an AI service, this is your back office automation. So right now, what the demo that we're running, that's kind of like a lead follow-up. It's gonna send out a message and it's gonna watch for replies. I have two cohort members right now that are using it for bookkeeping, hooked up into their bookkeeping systems. One's using QuickBooks, the other's using like a Sheets version, and they're just able to categorize it. It's able to pull the transaction, categorize them, push it back, flag anything that's out of ordinary. You can also have it set up to chase, late invoices, or if you have a sales team and they're not submitting, which we have a problem with sometimes, they have to submit receipts, the salespeople, and they don't always. So you can have it just follow up with them until they do submit the receipt, which is just a text message now. You can have it on the front desk. That's kind of what we're working on with one of our clients, where just it can answer phones, it can put stuff in the calendar, because it's already hooked in, it just needs a voice. And it can also do content and outreach. I use this for the ClawDrop newsletter. If you're getting the newsletter every week, it goes through a very extensive process of scraping the web, finding the right thing, that would be useful for a small business owner like myself and you, and then write up a post, and then write up the email. So that's all happening through Hermes. And you can have it do stuff overnight, which I do for Facebook. It'll find comments for me to post on, and it'll post comments because it has my voice and what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to get newsletter subscribers. It'll go into specific groups, find posts that are relevant, and then drop my link if it makes sense, or just add value. So it's great for having overnight type of stuff running too. We already went over this. Yeah, buying signal. Yeah, watching for signals also is great if you're running. If you already have like a bunch of clients, your sales are dipping, or there's some other signals in your system that show up that you wouldn't have time to look at manually. But now with an always on agent, it can just monitor, your CRM or your accounting or your ERP, and be able to flag you when it's time to like make an offer to a client. You can package it and sell it. Like we're talking about everything that we just talked about. You could just say, hey, I'm going to package this executive agent up for you, for the CEO of a company, and this is what you get. You can have it triaging leads. You can have it do bookkeeping. You can have it do content. Supply chain is another useful one, like when order levels are dipping, when you need to be placing orders again, especially if you have long lead times, it's a useful always on agent that can track your inventory like a hawk. So, and that's your back office essentially. these are the rates that I'm seeing right now. 500 to 2,000 to build, and then anywhere from 200 to 1,000 to manage. And you can break it out into different types of agents if you need to. I like selling. I like going for like the special, the general agent, and then that kind of is the wedge, and then you can open it up into, hey, we want a specialized agent that just does content, focuses on content, that kind of thing. So I am running a cohort on August 10th. This is Lyric. She's part of TK Owners as well. She's been on ClawDrop and was a cohort member this last time. She has an interior design company and it's the Go Painting commercial painting franchisee. And she's really like compressed months of learning into just 3 weeks because the course are 3 weeks, compressed it. Now she has her and her husband, with the back end of Hermes and being able to do a lot more than she could before. And her confidence with, using AI is shot through the roof. She's if you want to talk to her, I can put you in touch if that's something you want to do. So this is where you would sign up. It's 3 weeks. And if you want, you can use school.com/ClawDrop. So we'll usually the way that it's worked is we'll do a one-on-one meeting and then we'll do a group call every week. And kind of it was and these meetings were like they ran as long as kind of needed, just so that you are able to get from point A to point B, where you are able to dive deep, understand what Hermes does, how it can be used in your business, or if you want to package it up and everything alongside it. So, I mean, there was some calls we had that ran for 4 hours because they had, the person across from me had a lot of questions. We were trying to get stuff done. We were on screen share, or sometimes I'll log into their computer and help them, kind of do what they were trying to do for their business. So very immersive and very compressed. You're going to learn a lot in 3 weeks. So I'm going to go back to this agent. Let's see.
I had a quick question for you on the cohort, if that's okay.
Of course, yeah.
So is most in between the weekly one-on-one and the team meetings, is most of the learning self-directed?
It is. It is also in how it was. How it was somebody would text me and say, yeah, this is what I'm running into, and I'll be like, okay, we can try. We would try figuring it out over text, or if not, we'll just hop on a call and do it. There's tons of material online, but I feel the value of the cohort is like working together with somebody that has done it before and just kind of pairing on the problem and
Or
figuring it out. I feel like it's more in depth and you'll get a lot more out of it. So I keep that cohort week very free, and I make sure that I'm there for supporting whatever is needed. So you want to make progress on your own, and then that's the way you'll continue after the 3 weeks too. So yeah, it's a combination.
got it. Thank you.
Um, let's see. I'm going to share back the. So I'm going to show you Hermes, and let me know when you can see it.
The Hermes screen, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Are you able
Yeah.
to see it now?
Yes.
Perfect.
The right one. Yes.
Yeah. So this is Hermes, the desktop, and Barbara. We set this up for Barbara yesterday. Um,
Amazing.
have you? Yeah, it's really powerful. So here, here's like the new session. You create this. You just have a new chat like you do with ChatGPT. These are all your chats. Capabilities is kind of like all the skills that you teach it. And you can, and the teaching of the skill can be very in depth. Like you ask it to write out scripts, like programmatic scripts, and really just make it very deterministic. Or you just chat with it and say, "Hey, I just want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Bundle this up into a skill so we can reuse it." Um, for example, I have a Facebook commenting skill. It opens up a browser and finds posts for me to post on. GWS, this is a skill for accessing Gmail, Drive, calendar sheets. This is more of an inbuilt one. I've just modified it a little bit. So that's why you'll see this learn tag for the ones that I've taught it. And then it has a bunch of default skills that have no tag on it. This is where you can, this is how you can hook up your Telegram or whatever to it. I also use Telegram. I also have it hooked up to WhatsApp for like specific groups. I also have it hooked up to Twilio so I can send out text messages, which I hope it's going to be sending soon. And people like Discord and Slack a lot too. So that's also where you can hook this up. Artifacts is all the files and artifacts it generates. So it keeps it here. So this is the gateway. So this is just the front end of Hermes. This is where you chat to it. You can install this Hermes desktop app on any laptop that you use. But every time you install, you don't want to separate, like it'll create a new database and everything. So you want the backend to stay the same so it remembers, it has all the data, all the skills, all the artifacts, whatever in one place. So that's why you can use something called a remote gateway, where on the back end it's going to run on a VPS. You can, $15-20 VPS a month. That's plenty. Or if you have an old laptop laying around, this is why people are buying Mac Minis. All of those is where the agent can run, and you can just have your front end desktop app running whichever whichever laptop you happen to be using. Now, one of the reasons I like Hermes is the fact that it's not tied to a specific model. You want to use OpenAI, great, which is what I use. It's the $20 a month plan is plenty. But some people, especially in our cohort, there was one gentleman that he wanted to build out his own rack, only use open source models, and he was doing that. We set it up with it was a Quen, one of the open source Quen models, and you can totally have that running instead. I believe you can see all the models. Chat appearance. So memory and context. It has a decent memory, but I would encourage you to, use a memory system like Honcho, or I think it's called Menosign, something like that. There's a few good ones out there. None of them are perfect, but I would highly recommend using a special backend, so like a specialized memory system for it. So this is where you can connect other providers, like you see Minimax or Quen or OpenRouter is, OpenRouter is connected to OpenRouter is where all the models live, but they're all pay per use. So you need to have, if you're using up a certain amount, it'll charge you per token, that kind of thing. OpenAI is one of the few that runs on your existing subscription. So if you have a $20 a month subscription, you can use that with Hermes. That's what I recommend for most people. I don't want to pay per usage or be worried about how much I'm going to spend this month. The OpenAI one is very generous. and it works. So that's the one I stick with. So here's tools that you can enable. This is where, you would put in your keys for different tools. So for example, I have 11 labs hooked up. Here's the API key for it. GitHub API key for it. So stuff like that you can put in your key. Even if this isn't it's not listed in here, you can put it in the Hermes folder in a .n file. If you've ever heard of .n files, that's where all your secrets will live, and settings for the different tools. These are the cron jobs. So this is the one I have running every day. It runs a WhatsApp morning brief. There's a little script that it basically runs, and we just get like a combination of all our calendars, and what's the weather like, that kind of thing, like I mentioned. And it's very easy to just say new cron job, check my email. Check my email every 1 hour and surface anything that is important. So my inbox, I'm a bit of a freak. I keep my inbox at inbox zero at all times, but I know that's not the case with everybody. So something like this I've heard that this would be useful to kind of just keep your inbox count low. And this is just your first prompt. This is something that it'll learn from. And one of the ways that I like to do this is, let's say you're doing bookkeeping and you don't want it to just run autonomously and categorize stuff perhaps wrongly the first time you run it. So what you do is you put a human in the loop. Whenever it's learning a skill, it's great to put a human in the loop. You tell it to run the skill, but don't actually do it. Just tell me what you would do and put it in a spreadsheet. I'm going to review the spreadsheet in a separate column. I'm going to say, this was categorized right, perfect, 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 not this way, categorize it this way. And then the next time it runs, tell it to take that feedback into account. Well, one of the cohort members was doing this with bookkeeping. He's The first time he did it, he said it asked him 100 questions. The second time it was like 20 questions, and then the third month that he did his closing, it was like 2 questions, because it was able to categorize everything. It was learned over time. Um, let's see. Did anybody get the text message? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Yet. Let's see. Let's see. Ah, perfect. It's stuck one of those consent loops. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it's really hard to get out of. It'll say that I'll do it if you say this, and then it doesn't do it. This is like it's an LLM issue, and I haven't had this in a while. Um, while we're waiting for this, are there questions or stuff that you're wondering about? If anybody wants to share how they're using AI right now, that'll be that'd be fine too.
Well, I guess I just pipe in. So,
Yeah,
so thanks for your help
yeah,
yesterday evening. So my setup right now is I'm running Hermes on my Mac Mini that Drew helped me get set up, and then I also have it on my laptop and such. So, talking to it through Telegram, and it's working great so far. Getting my schedule together, prepping me for the week, what I need to be prepped on, things like that. So it's very cool. And then my experience is more so on the chat and
yeah,
Claude side. So this is a little foreign. I mean, the outlay looks pretty good, pretty familiar, but just some of the terminology is a little different. But excited to explore it further.
yeah. Um, uh, and before this, how were you before this, chat was the way that you were using this?
Yeah, I would mainly use chat and then to set up prompts and things like that. And then I would throw them over there in Claude and then have them do whatever the task is. I was doing more so like workflows and automated documents and getting them to do a workflow with data entry into one that would correspond to something afterwards, like a proposal, a contract, um, things like that. So
Nice.
yeah. This will be great to help with the admin tasks, how I put them, right? What's coming
Yeah,
up, the age old business quandrum of trying to coordinate schedules,
yeah,
yeah, right? Time management.
yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I had a question for you, Drew, if you don't
Hey, yeah,
mind. From the agency standpoint, with you running your own agency and working with small business owners, the obviously the capabilities with this platform are endless. So when you approach a business owner and you can do or improvise or improve so many different facets of their business,
mhm,
how do you approach them with like a pointed approach? Do you choose like a few different things that you're really good at, or do you just say I can help improve all aspects of your business?
right.
I wonder where your sticking point is to generate interest behind working with a small business.
Yeah, the easiest way for, and I noticed this whether it's in, teaching people or working with businesses, I think it's very similar in this respect. You kind of have to meet them where they're at. Like if they're the best thing is to ask them about their day. Hey, like walk me through what do you do normally? And if they're able to like articulate like, hey, this is what I check my email first thing in the morning, then I look at, the sales for the past day, and then I check how many like accounts payable we have and how many receivables. Like I'm gonna talk to my accountant afterwards. And usually the idea is you want to talk to the business owner, and you will have an understanding after a few meetings like, hey, this is what most people are caring about, cash
Mhm.
in, cash out. Say, yeah, like, if they're really involved with the sales side, like which customers are important, what are they buying, so this type of thing. And the easiest pitch is like, you're going through all these systems, you don't have time to check everything all the time, especially if you're, in that 15, 20, $30 million range. The agent can do that for you. We're gonna put in basically an executive assistant where you can just talk with it over email or however you want to, and ask it stuff that you would be checking manually. And you could set up systems to monitor these things where you wouldn't this was not something that you could do before, where can't look at every salesperson's sales and the margins that they're selling at, and if they're going to everybody in their territory, that kind of thing. Like it's an executive assistant that can supercharge what you're doing at scale and follow up. So there's a better way to say it, but essentially during conversation, you surface that aspect, and it's great to have like a little demo, something that they can
Fair
see.
enough.
You know, are you are you looking to start your own agency, or are you running a business?
I'm just exploring like founding roles at startups in the agentic world, and then I'm also just curious about the agency side of things as well. So I'm open to both sides of the fence, but I
No.
think first step for me is understanding capabilities a bit more and how to deploy an agent, and if I feel it's something that I can do on my own and start an agency, then I'd go that route. But I come from a sales background, so
Oh, nice.
if I feel that might be a better fit, then just stay in that one lane and find a startup that's doing it well. So
Yeah.
I'm exploring both sides.
Yeah. I think the camp it's split into two camps right now. There's like the very technical people
Hmm.
that know AI, and then there's like the salespeople that know AI that like, they're like they see the potential, they just don't have like the technical know-how, and the technical people don't necessarily have the sales know-how. So it often makes sense to like for people to kind of buddy up and work that way.
Yeah, yeah, I'm working to bridge the gap.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, all right. Did anybody happen to get a text message?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. One person did. My
I
wife.
did.
You did. Awesome. Um,
There it
and if
is. Just got it.
okay, if you want to respond to it, that I'm going to show you. So, um, looks like my wife already responded and it showed up here. Let me share the screen. So if you say something like yeah yeah I'd be up for a meeting or something like that, it'll automatically kind of you know it'll just this is not my CRM really, but just to show you that it can log that information somewhere. I have it. You can also hook it up to your Go High Level, which I have. So Ritika, can you say what did you have a conversation back and forth with it, or did you just say yes, or what was your response?
When it asked me what was the biggest thing holding me back, I said time right now.
Okay,
And then it asked me, it sounds like timing is the main concern. Would it be useful to set up a 15-minute chat about that?
and then you said yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then at that point, so the goal that I gave it was gently drive it towards a meeting. So if you have a conversation with it back and forth, it's gonna drive it, drive you to kind of set up a meeting. Just it's a fake meeting. Don't worry about actually meeting with me if you don't want to. But if you say yes to it, then it should show up on this on your CRM, and then you have other automations that take it from there to like the meeting, and then onwards to a sale, that kind of thing. So I find that useful. There's tons of things you can hook in. One thing that I've seen work is sending a postcard programmatically as part of the sales process when you're trying to get a meeting. You can do that through something called Lob. If you know Chris Kerner, his and if you know Brandon Doyle, he did that with he was using OpenClaw, but I believe he sent it. He was selling his marketing agency sells websites or marketing services, and website is having a website is one such issue. He sent it out to people that didn't have a website. I believe he sent it out to several hundred and was able to get 8 clients from it using OpenClaw or Hermes and Lob and a personalized website for each person that he reached out to, which is again easy enough to do if you hook up the right tools in Hermes. Um, what other questions do people have around this? Love to hear from. I'll open up the chat window too. Okay. Hey, John. Oh, sorry, Sam, I missed your pros and cons of running it on a VPS versus a laptop. VPS always on. You can have it run wherever. I prefer that. Laptop is just a front end, like you're using Gmail or something. You know, where you can log in and turn it off for your cron jobs and everything. They're running. So if my laptop is off, I can still text with it on Telegram or WhatsApp. Is this a sales Zoom for United, or will you be getting to the title of the Zoom building a Hermes agent? So, John, this is building the agent. So I can show you what I did to install it. I've shown you what you can do with it. The agent itself is what you see. The idea is to now make it your own for the purpose that you need it for. So this is where you would go install it. And I can share, I've done another workshop where I did do the plumbing of how you do the install on a VPS, how you do the install on your desktop. I can share those videos. I didn't think it would be super useful to kind of just be in the technical weeds the entire time. So that's not something I'm going to go over in this video, but I'm happy to send those other videos after the call if that's what you want. Um, let's see if anybody else hooked in. Looks like Barbara was able to book a meeting. So I could tell the agent at this point, everybody everyone that is booked in the sheet, please add those contacts to my CRM, which is Go High Level. John, if you have specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'm not here to gatekeep anything. It's just what's the best use of time. So if you have specific questions, I'd be happy to dive deep into whatever you want. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, makes sense. So this is my CRM. This is also hooked into Hermes. So GHL is Go High Level. So this little demo was to basically show you that you can hook in all your systems to it and then be able to chat with your company. So I can show you what we do for the family business for the stone distribution. So it's hooked into our ERP system. So I can say stuff like, hey, well, let me show you the ERP system first. and every industry is going to have its own type of thing that people use. Um, so this is the ERP system. I think it was made like 25 years ago. Are you able to, is everybody able to see my screen still? With the stone profit systems on the left? Perfect. Um, so this is an old ERP system. It has no API. It's it was made 25 years ago, and they haven't really updated it since. But this is the one that actually works in the industry, and it's got a lot of industry knowledge baked in. So how do we interface with this? We are able to then ask Hermes to say, hey, this system has no API. I want to be able to read and write to it. Build me something that I can programmatically talk to it. I can enter stuff in and pull stuff out. And Hermes will then maybe ask you a few questions and kind of try out a bunch of things. But it was able to build out a software package that runs now in the background, and I'm able to talk to it like saying, what product did Stone Profits sell the most in the last month? So this is not using browser control. This is just using something in the background to talk to it. And if somebody's interested in it, we can dive deeper into the technical details. But it'll be able to pull stuff out. So the power of this is, I want to now connect this to a separate CRM system, or I want to connect it to my marketing stack. I can run a daily job that says, hey, customers that were buying a lot last year but haven't bought this year, build out a personalized offer for them and email them out next week. So all of that research, all of that data gathering, figuring out what they were using, all of this was, manual even like a year ago. Now can do automatically because you can build systems like this. Are you, so right now it's kind of pulling reports that I would be doing or somebody else would be doing and kind of compiling that data. So my question was, what product did Stoneland sell the most in the last month? And came back with Black Pearl Granite, sold it on 53 invoices for this much. And it was a big chunk of our June invoices apparently. So this gives me a lot of power to kind of direct my sales team in particular ways, and even maybe open it up to my sales team. So if anybody has like more specific questions, we can talk about those. We have we have a few minutes. We don't, and we'll kind of just take it from there. The idea was to kind of show you what the power of Hermes is, and and if somebody wants, I'll send them videos for how to install it and stuff, which we've done before.
Hey Dhruv, this is Sid from Tampa. I wanted to ask you a question about, I don't know if you can hear me now, but yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask you a question about, for a basic user that's using ChatGPT primarily, not obviously the way I should be using it, but the more powerful methodology that you've shown here with using Hermes, like what is the best way to learn this? I know you're offering a cohort, and I want to also like learn a little more about,
Sure.
what you're going to be offering there, and if that's going to be sufficient to get up to speed so I can do something like this, or is there more training knowledge transfer required? So just if you don't mind walking me through that,
Yeah.
that'll be great.
Yeah. I'm gonna sh share a YouTube channel that I think is very great on the technical details. It's called Tonby's Garage, AI Garage, I believe. I'll put this in the chat. Yes, and I will definitely share that with you, Rolanda. This is it has at least a few videos, like a couple master classes on Hermes. They're really great to start with. He goes over everything in a lot of detail. Um, and that'll definitely get you like here's how to use Hermes properly. It's not specific to small business, but it is deep in Hermes. The cohort is for since you asked about it, the cohort is exactly this. We're going to take it from you are using ChatGPT to now I have a Hermes agent up and running for myself that is doing the things that I wanted to do for my business. And then if you're trying to sell this or if you're trying to show this to other business owners and you're trying to, you know, build that side of you, you're trying to build an AI agency, it'll give you one core offering that you can take and sell to people that are going to benefit from this. So if you're just using ChatGPT, yes, we're gonna take you from where you are to having this set up and knowing the ins and outs of Hermes. I don't know if you were on when Sam was asking about this, but we spend one meeting during the week that's just you and me, and then there's one meeting that's with all the other cohort members where you get to learn from what they're doing, and people are doing a lot of fun, fantastical stuff with it. And I learned also what it was capable of because people are really pushing the boundaries of Hermes.
Got
And
it.
you'll definitely get a lot about it in the sense if you're especially if you're just using ChatGPT, this will be an exponential power up. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, yeah, no, thanks for that. And so, is there any coursework that comes along with this, or I don't know? I know you mentioned some links, or are there playbooks that you may have, or that we can keep and learn on the side, or is it just this two meetings on a weekly basis? Is that what it covers in terms of like the?
Yeah, there's gonna be a rough like it's gonna be a course outline, and then there's gonna be some like it's not necessarily gonna be like me like videos from me, but there'll be stuff to learn along the way. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Cool,
So
thank you.
yeah, Rolanda, yes, I will send you the videos as well. I see CPA by your name, so I'm guessing you have bookkeeping clients and you have clients like that. So I don't know if you've hooked up an agent to, or you've hooked up any AI system to QuickBooks or anything like that. I know that they're building out their own, um, but that was actually the major focus for at least two of my cohort members last time doing bookkeeping. And one of them had, I believe, four or five entities where she had real estate, and then she had a painting company, she had a interior design company. Oh, nice. So you've created your own bookkeeping software. So yeah, AI would be everybody hates QuickBooks. So this was a nice layer on top.